On the 9th of September 2023, last year, this is what I said about Cyril Ramaphosa's relationship with the DA.
Cyril Ramaphosa and the DA are working together to privatize South Africa. Now, how do we know this? We know this because the DA is more interested in having Ramaphosa as president of South Africa than the DA itself running South Africa. Why? First, because the DA is well aware that they will never win an election in South Africa. So what they've done is that they've got their man in Cyril Ramaphosa. And how do they get their man in Cyril Ramaphosa? They have somehow managed to get Ramaphosa to implement DA policies. They have somehow got Ramaphosa to implement everything that the DA wants the government to do, not what the ANC wants the government to do. Remember, the ANC, in their policies, in their resolutions, believe that it is the state which is supposed to develop a country. But the DA believes that it is private enterprise, private merchants and private money changers who are supposed to develop the country. So between the DA and the ANC, you have a clash of policies where one believes that the state is supposed to be the one in charge of the economy of the country, and the other party believes that the private enterprise is supposed to be the one in charge of the economy of the country. But the problem is that in terms of Ramaphosa, you have a president who comes from a party which believes that the state is supposed to create jobs, the state is supposed to use state-owned enterprise to develop the country, who is implementing the policies of a party which says that the state must stay away from development, the state must not own the economy. So you have the DA, which favors private enterprise, and the ANC, which favors the state to develop the country, working together. But it is not the ANC and the DA working together. It is Ramaphosa and the DA working together. That is why every time you find that there's corruption or some kind of accusation of corruption being leveled against the ANC, the DA will jump on the bandwagon and say, yes, the ANC is bad. We have given the ANC a fully functional country from apartheid and that into the ground. But every time there is accusation of corruption leveled against Ramaphosa, the DA will jump to defend Ramaphosa. You don't believe me? When the Western Cape ruled against Ramaphosa, saying that he was wrong to suspend public protector Wilson Mkhwebane, the DA rushed to the Constitutional Court to go and review the decision of the Western Cape High Court. Why would the DA not be happy that Ramaphosa now was going to find himself where he was supposed to step aside according to ANC policy? Why would they want Ramaphosa to be kept in power if they are not secretly having a deal where Ramaphosa is going to implement DA policies so that the ANC, South Africa, could be under the policies of the DA, even though the DA is not the party that is running South Africa? Just recently, a few days back, Thabo Mbeki accused Ramaphosa of being the one who ran Oscom to the ground to make sure that we have load shedding. The DA, once again, rushed to defend Ramaphosa, saying that it was Mbeki, it was Jacob Zuma, it was the previous regimes or the previous administration of the ANC which destroyed the Eskom when they did not develop capacity to generate electricity. You ask yourself, why wouldn't an opposition party be happy when the opposition leader is being accused of corruption? Why would an opposition party protect or defend the opposition party's leadership? Do we not realize that Ramaphosa is a plant within the ANC to destroy the ANC from within? How is he doing it? By implementing the policies of the DA and not implementing the policies of the ANC, make sure the ANC is not favored by the people. And then if the people are not happy with the ANC, they're not going to vote for them. Naturally, the ANC is not going to lose a lot of votes. Probably it's going to go just under 50%. And when it's under 50%, the ANC will then have to make a coalition, find the coalition partner. And the DA is always going to be the one that you're waiting. Forget the Moon Pact or whatever they call it. They don't care about these IFPs or these small parties. They care more about the ANC. But they can't do it now because they are terrified that the people who are enemies of Ramaphosa within the ANC might not like it. And if they don't like it, then Ramaphosa might have to step down for whatever the reason may be. So what they're doing is that they want to get the ANC under 50%. And they're using Ramaphosa by making sure Ramaphosa doesn't do anything good so that works. And then the ANC goes under 50% and the DA is going to have to be a coalition partner of the ANC. That's why this is a tech team to privatize the state. The DA and Cyril Ramaphosa are a tech team to privatize SOEs, to make sure that everything, the economy in South Africa, is owned by private enterprise. And the people have no say in terms of the direction of South Africa. So that is the issue. And it's such a difficult issue because how do you separate Ramaphosa from the ANC? You can't. So if you hate Ramaphosa, for whatever the reason may be, you actually you actually hate the ANC, I'm trying to say. And if you hate the ANC, you're not going to vote for the ANC. But people are not realizing that Ramaphosa is working with the DA. The DA, I think John Steenhuisen in 2021, said that he was open to work with reformers like Cyril Ramaphosa. But he was not well open to work with David Mabuza. So you ask yourself, what did David Mabuza do to the DA that Ramaphosa has not done, that the DA doesn't want to work with David Mabuza? It is because they know that Ramaphosa is their man. They know that whatever Ramaphosa is doing, he is doing to benefit the DA. That's why it is the DA's policy that Eskom must be unbundled. Under Ramaphosa administration, Eskom is being unbundled. It is the DA policy that the state-owned enterprise must be privatized and the economy of the country must be under the control of private merchants and money changers. Under Ramaphosa, we are seeing privatization. And people are going to argue and say, even Amdan Beki and so on and so on. Look, under Mbeki, it was a test. That's why the ANC left it. Under Ramaphosa, they want to privatize everything to make sure that the economy is owned by private merchants and money changers, majority of which are Afrikaners. So that the same thing that happened in apartheid, where the Bantu had no economic power, even in democratic dispensation of South Africa, the Bantu will have no economic power whatsoever. Since Ramaphosa himself is a private investor, he's a private businessman, he's more concerned about saving or giving more power to private investors than giving power to the people through the ownership of SOEs, where all the people in South Africa shall have economic heritage in ownership of the economy through state-owned enterprises. So this DA and Ramaphosa tech team is meant to erode any form of ownership of the economy by the people. They just want everything to be private so that the private sector can direct where the country must go. And once that happens, we're going to have immorality after immorality. And they're already introducing it through the laws. Just watch the laws which are being introduced in South Africa. You will see what I mean when I'm saying that South Africa is going to be turned into the United States. And we know all the immoralities of America through Hollywood, their movies and everything. So we have to see what is really going on. And what is really going on is that the president of South Africa works for the opposition political party. And the ANC members are afraid of confronting him because they can have the same fate as Ace Magashule. They can be treated like Jacob Zuma. That is the problem that we're facing in South Africa right now. The partnership or the tech team between Cyril Ramaphosa and the DA to privatize the economy of South Africa.